Hey YouTube, Joeboy here. So, one of the most fascinating mysteries that we got from Dressrosa was what Doflamingo called the national treasure of Mary Joie. And after he said this, for the next however long, a lot of people have been speculating about it, including myself, and there's been a lot of crazy ideas. But you guys know how it goes. We start off with the mystery, there is a ton of different ideas, and slowly they all just die. They die, Oda kills them, and we're left with the one. I think that we're at a point in the story here where we know what the one is. So let's lay it out here, and this really shouldn't take that long. Please, okay, it should be short. Let's go for it. Let's begin first, in case you've forgotten, with the initial reveal of the national treasure. Law and Doflamingo are having a conversation, and Law is confused because Doflamingo, he's just learned, or he knows, that Doflamingo's a fallen celestial dragon, but as a fallen celestial dragon, he still holds power to manipulate Cypherpole, specifically the news, and that was relevant to the Dressrosa arc. And Doflamingo says this, "You really want to know, don't you? It's because I know all about a crucial treasure that exists within sacred Mary Joie, and the very fact of its existence would shake the world to its foundations. To them, I was the worst kind of fugitive, one with an ace up his sleeve. Once the celestial dragons realized they couldn't kill me, they grew quite cooperative. If only I'd had the power of the Opi Opi no Mi in my grasp on that specific day years ago, I would have been able to make use of Mary Joie's treasure to seize true world power." And then Doflamingo goes on, and I think it's important to include this as well. He goes on to describe what about the Opi Opi no Mi is actually relevant here. He says, "That is how valuable and useful your powers are, not only for the personality switching surgery, but one even greater ability. Do you know what it is? In the hands of a skilled enough user, the Opi Opi fruit has the ability to fulfill mankind's longest and oldest dream. Many call it the ultimate devil fruit for this reason. The ultimate ability of these powers is to give the gift of eternal life, the immortality operation." So let's quickly break this down, because I think within this you have every key ingredient that you need to understand what the national treasure is. If it doesn't fulfill any of these criteria, I don't think that it's right. So first off, knowledge of the national treasure is going to shake the world. Whatever it is, it has to do that. And in order for Doflamingo to utilize the national treasure, or use it, or obtain it in any way, you need the Opi Opi no Mi, and its two crucial abilities, personality swap and immortality. And lastly, the treasure would have to make sense to allow Doflamingo to seize true world power. So this was all revealed in chapter 761 of One Piece, and we didn't really get any other updates for the national treasure except for during the Reverie in chapter 906. Doflamingo says this, "So why the solitary cell, huh? A guy could get lonely down here. Or is this meant to protect me, Magellan? Have they come for me, an assassin from above? To make sure I don't go spilling the secrets of Mary Joie's hidden treasure? A hired killer to silence me for good, eh? Just let the secret out. Power has such a short shelf life. It goes bad very quickly." And then we cut from Doflamingo talking about the national treasure to Emo. If you guys want a good laugh, watch my chapter reaction for chapter 906 of One Piece. I'm not going to spoil it here. I mean, it's good entertainment. And it also highlights possibly my greatest flaw, that being a tendency to make everything extraordinarily wild. But I think that with the most recent chapter, One Piece chapter 1084, it's pretty much confirmed that the national treasure is Emu, and or the position that Emu holds as king of the world. Or if confirmed is a trigger word for you, it is very likely, in my opinion. This isn't a new speculation, and shout out to the many people who've already speculated this. I just did a quick Google search. I saw Evil and Vinland D, so this isn't a new idea, but I think this chapter requires sort of an update about how everyone should be feeling about this. But so here's the logical train of thought, which leads me to the conclusion. First off, we begin the most recent chapter with King Cobra asking about his ancestor, Lily. He first asks it to the Gorosei, and the Gorosei essentially say, "That was a long time ago. We don't know anything." And almost as a direct contrast to this comment, we see almost immediately after Emu walks up the stairs and says, "Lily?" The subtext here is that the Gorosei don't know anything because it was a long time ago. Eam definitely knows something, even though it was a long time ago. It substantiates community beliefs that a lot of people held, that Imu is from the Void Century. They are ancient. Now at this point it isn't confirmed yet, but as it was prior community belief, and this seems to trend in that direction, it's very easy to believe. And so the next logical question is, well, if Eam is from the Void Century, how is that possible? How are they still alive? And there's only one power in the entire story that has anything to do with immortality as far as we know, and that's the Opi Opi no Mi. The same Opi Opi no Mi that Doflamingo claims is related to using the national treasure. So let's work backwards and sort of fill in the blanks here. Doflamingo tells us that knowledge of the national treasure would shake the world. The knowledge of Eam, which is a hidden thing, would definitely shake the world. He said that day, had he had the Opi Opi no Mi, and he specifies two abilities, personality switch and immortality, had he had the Opi Opi no Mi, that day he would have been able to acquire the treasure and utilize it for true power in the world. Well, Imu definitely has true power in the world. The two abilities that he specifies are really interesting because Doflamingo could have personality swapped somebody into Eam's body. Meanwhile, he could have also made himself immortal using the Opi Opi no Mi. It really all just checks out. And when we come back to Imu, he discusses the national treasure. Just reveal it already. And then immediately after that, we see Eam. And at the time, we obviously speculate a lot of things other than just the glaring person there as being the national treasure. But it's kind of just straight up face value, looking at it this way. This is a theory that I think in hindsight is like, oh yeah, duh. And at the same time, it might be slightly disappointing because it isn't anything crazy. Not that other things don't exist, like the devil fruit tree or magic straw hats, you know? But I really think the gravity of this reveal comes with the meaning of treasure and maybe like a contrast you could make in the story. The national treasure of Mary Joie is a person or a position. In a way, you could define the treasure as power. And perhaps fitting for Doflamingo, the user of the string fruit, the treasure is control. The ability to puppeteer the world. But it is certainly weird to think of this as a treasure. It's not, for me at least, it wasn't something that was intuitive. But it becomes more intuitive when you compare it to something like the One Piece. What is the One Piece? Well, there's an actual answer to this, but in the minds of the people that are actually searching for it, it's whatever they want. It's kind of, at least conceptually, malleable. Those who search for it are expecting to find what they want. And Roger even tells us that he acquired everything, so in a sense, it is what everyone wants. To me, the existence of Eam, that position within the world, is kind of a dark version of the One Piece. It's a malleable end goal which will fulfill the person who seeks it. Once acquired, they'll be able to change the world as suits them. So argued like this, it is a treasure. A very valuable treasure that most of the world doesn't know actually exists. But anyway, I did feel like this deserved its own video. I think that it stands pretty strong on its own. But before we end, I just want to, while we're here, Doflamingo talks about the government sending assassins to him in Impel Down. That's his speculation for why he was moved into an isolated chamber. And his speculation, again, was that this assassination attempt obviously didn't succeed because he's not dead, and he didn't actually see the assassin. So it was stopped by Magellan of Impel Down, which is a really fascinating dynamic, which I wonder if it alludes to something or goes somewhere in the story. You would think that it'd be easy for the world government to assassinate somebody in their very own prison, but their forces actually fight against their interests. And more impressively, aren't corrupted by their power. Doflamingo seems very open as well to those that tend to him about the national treasure. Maybe he's not revealing what it is, but he's revealing the secret of it. And I just wonder if this goes anywhere. Doflamingo also makes a big point during his flashback to mention that the Celestial Dragons realized at some point that they couldn't kill him, and so he had power over them in order to manipulate them because of his knowledge of the treasure. But the Strides didn't kill him. Obviously, he's in Impel Down now, and the journey from his defeat to Impel Down, world government still has been unable to kill him. With the treasure being power and control, Doflamingo's existence is almost an indication of its impotency. Despite possessing the treasure, Eam can't do what they want, or, on the flip side, maybe they don't actually want to kill Doflamingo, and his speculations are just merely that, speculations. This would be a thing that would obviously surprise Doflamingo, but his idea of the treasure could be different from whoever currently possesses it or other people who might try to seek it. But this seems in some way interrelated to Doflamingo's quote here about power having a shelf life. As if as he's sitting in the prison, he's come to the conclusion that Eam is not as strong of a user of the treasure as it could be or once was. It's almost as if Doflamingo is suggesting here that knowledge of Mary-Joie's treasure needs to be revealed so that more people can seek it, because the person who currently has it can't utilize it. But anyway, guys, that's all I had to say. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you have any thoughts, speculations, debate, discussion, leave it in the comment section below. Remember to check out my book, The Booms, Volume 1 and 2 is out. Links in the description as well as pinned in the comments. If you guys happen to read it, please leave a review just to let other people know what you think about it. But yeah, like the video, subscribe, click the bell to be notified, join the squad, and as always, guys, have a wonderful day.